Special counsel John Durham's investigation into the FBI's targeting of Donald Trump in 2016 suffered a blow Tuesday when Igor Danchenko, a think tank analyst accused of lying to the FBI about his role in the creation of a dossier about former President Trump, was found not guilty. In 3 years, Durham has made little headway on his original mandate. His record so far, 2 acquittals and 1 plea deal. For more on this, I'm joined by Vinoo Varghese, a white-collar criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. Vinoo, what's the larger context of this case that we had this acquittal on today?
The big thing for John Durham is that his investigation, his role as special counsel is going to come to an end with a losing record. It's extraordinary for the federal government to lose 2 cases, to have 2 straight acquittals on trials with Michael Sussman and Mr. Danchenko. He did, however, secure probably what is one of the more significant convictions in recent times, with that of an FBI lawyer who pleaded guilty, Kevin Kleinsmith, to altering an email that led to a warrant application that shouldn't have been granted against Carter Page. So it's a mixed bag, and his legacy is one where this case in particular seemed odd that he brought. And that is because he was fighting his own witnesses. You don't want to go into trial fighting your own witnesses.
Well, Vinoo, walk me through that a little bit more. Was this this was not necessarily on Durham's main mandate, which was to look into the ways the FBI might have had it out for President Trump. This was basically Danchenko was on the hook for not telling the truth to the FBI. Is that a hard case traditionally to try to win as a prosecutor, or was there something about this case that, according to reports, it was unanimous among the jury? They deliberated for 9 hours. So was this just not smart for him to bring this case?
I think it was not a good move to bring this case, because while a case like this, if you're going to bring it, you usually have the support of the government. You usually have the support of the FBI agents. It's the FBI agents who are your main witnesses against a person who's alleged to have made false statements against to the FBI. But Danchenko, in this case, basically the agents all testified that he was a good asset, that this was a loss to national security because they couldn't use him anymore, and that they believed that this anonymous phone call, supposedly what he was charged for was that he lied about an anonymous phone call that he received, which put a alleged strong tie between Trump officials and Russian agents. So they said he lied about that, or at least Durham did, but the agents said they believed him. What the larger mandate for Durham, appointed by Bill Barr to basically survive the transition to the Biden administration, was to investigate what came out in a 2019 report by the Inspector General of numerous irregularities within the FBI that led to the conviction of Kevin Kleinsmith. And that cannot be understated here. So, but the question is, why did Durham bring these cases when he knew that he had this resistance? Maybe it was some kind of personal thing where he felt he had to. It just doesn't make sense, because his witnesses basically testified on behalf of Danchenko. It's unheard of.
On the last point on Kleinsmith, on that, explain to people why that's important in terms of the way the FBI does its business, why you think it's such an important part of the Durham record, whether it has anything to do with an intentional effort to go after Donald Trump, or whether it's just important to change the way the FBI did business as it was uncovered in the Kleinsmith case.
What people don't realize and people don't understand is, the general public, the layman doesn't understand, is that the system is based on a rubber stamp. Judges give rubber stamps to affidavits put forth by the FBI. So judges rarely question what's in these affidavits. And it was because of the scrutiny on this case that it was revealed that an FBI lawyer had lied in an affidavit to a federal judge. I mean, stunning. and basically said that somebody neglected to mention that this guy Carter Page, who has gotten a lot of press, was working with the CIA. Had that been disclosed, he may not have gotten the warrant, or he would have certainly had to have found a different way to get that warrant for the surveillance that he was looking for. So things like this, the whole system is based on law enforcement telling the truth, basically acting in good faith. And this lawyer was not acting in good faith. And sadly, he only got a slap on the wrist and was sentenced to probation. I thought he should have gotten much more hard time to set an example to any other person at the FBI who would think of doing such a thing. So Durham is 0 for 2 in trials with the loss, as well as earlier a few months ago with Michael Sussman, which is another suspect case of why he brought that when it didn't seem like a strong case. But he did support a significant victory and brought to light real problems within the FBI.
All right, Vinoo Varghese, thank you so much for putting that in perspective for us. We appreciate it.